Yo, what's going on, everybody? You are watching Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we got a report around JJ McCarthy that is incredibly concerning, and I want to give a lot of thoughts on that on the front half of today's show. Also, CJ Stroud, could he be on the trade block this offseason? We'll talk about that on the later half of today's show. But let's first start off here with this JJ McCarthy report coming in from our guy, Alec Lewis, and he said in 2025, Minnesota also removed most of its over the middle passing concepts throughout the season to keep his line of sight as simple as possible. Talking about McCarthy, saying these limiting factors may not be deal breakers over the long haul. That said, NFL executives and coaches rarely have the benefit of viewing everything in the context of the long haul. Results are required. For all of those reasons, the Vikings are gauging all of the quarterback possibilities with an open mind. So let's talk about JJ attacking over the middle of the field here. So if you guys see the numbers from 10 plus yards over the middle, he was 13 to 21 this past season for 244 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, had a quarterback rating of 102.1. Not bad, but only 21 attempts from that range. And 20 plus yards down the field over the middle, 3 of 9, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and had a rating of 42.4. So you know those numbers. Now let's go back and look at Kirk Cousins when he was with O'Connell in 2022 and 2023 combined. 20 plus between the numbers, 16 to 33, 5 touchdowns, 2 picks, had a rating of 108.9, and then 10 plus, a rating of 102.1, 45-71 for 765 yards, 3 tuds, and 2 interceptions. But even back to 2024 with Sam Darnold, he was 23 of 39 for 454 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, had a quarterback rating of 132.2, and then really, really effective 20-plus yard throws, had a perfect quarterback rating of 158.3, 3 touchdowns. He was 6 of 7, and he threw for 255 yards. Now, I think that report is a little, I don't want to say misleading, because it's not like there was a huge drop-off of JJ attacking over the middle of the field, but there's no doubt that this is concerning. Alec Lewis is not just putting this out there just to put it out there. It is out there for a reason, whether it's somebody from the Vikings organization telling him to put it out there, but there's no doubt this is concerning. Also knowing Kevin O'Connell's bread and butter from the Sean McVay tree is those deep in-breaking routes. That is Jefferson's best route that he runs. The fact that they had to limit it is definitely concerning. But also, Kevin O'Connell deserves blame for this too. Yes, it is not good that the quarterback you spent the 10th overall pick on, that you have to limit the playbook. But whose decision was it to turn to the 10th overall pick? Who had the final say? It was Kevin O'Connell. All the reports can come out there that Kwesi had a big say in it, yada, yada, yada. We have been over this countless times here on the channel. But it is still, to my knowledge, that KOC had the final say on who was going to be the quarterback. So clearly, he misevaluated JJ McCarthy. The fact that he had to limit his playbook is no doubt concerning. So, yes, not a good look for JJ. But the head coach, the offensive play caller, the offensive genius, the quarterback guru, all those buzzwords that we hear around KOC, I just think it's concerning on his front. Now, JJ McCarthy in his first year starting was obviously not good. We all know the numbers. I mean, some of the EPA per play stats are really, really not in his favor, but even his accuracy concerns, I think, is the biggest concern amongst his game so far. His on-target throw percentage was 66.5. His bad throw percentage was 21.3%. Now, I will say in favor of McCarthy, he was actually second in big-time throws this past season, which is pretty crazy to think about. But, in terms of Alec Lewis adding that last line about the Vikings, they're going to gauge every single quarterback option out there. Makes sense. I mean, jobs are on the line this year in Minnesota. I mean, Kevin O'Connell understands that if he doesn't make the playoffs or even win a playoff game, he's probably out as a head coach. Because when you have a elite, the best defensive play caller in the NFL in Brian Flores giving you a top 5 defense every single year, and you can't get your side of the football figured out, that's on him, regardless of quarterback play, because he is the one that has the final say on the quarterback. If he does not get something out of that room where it's just at least a top 15 offense, that's on the head coach. That would be on Kevin O'Connell. So will he take the safe route? Will he take a risk on a Kyler Murray or a risk on JJ McCarthy? Who knows? But also, Jason La Canfora had this to say, which I thought was interesting, saying they can say what they want publicly, but they have some serious questions about McCarthy. Look, they're signing somebody else to push him, and it's not just going to be some stiff on a vet min contract. With all we're hearing right now, how it's shaking out this offseason, I will be pretty shocked if it's week 1 next season, we're in early September, and we're calling the game here live on the channel, I'm saying JJ McCarthy is under center. I would be very, very shocked if that's the case because I think, one, Kevin O'Connell, I'm guessing he's going to lean towards the safe route of Mac Jones or Kirk Cousins or one of these guys where it's like he can get that stable veteran where he can run his offense at least at a serviceable level. I don't think he views JJ as that guy. Also, the biggest concern with JJ, we can talk about his on-the-field stuff, it's him just getting on the field. Like the injury concerns, I mean, he is finished 8 games over the last 2 seasons. He has played in 10. 8 games out of 34 possible games is the biggest concern around McCarthy. So I think they're going to swing big. I think they're going to go try to get a guy. Maybe it's a Kyler Murray. Maybe it's a guy that we haven't even talked about here. And we also have a report on that coming up here in just a second. You guys let me know. Should JJ McCarthy be QB1 next season? Give me a Y for yes. Give me an N for no down below in the comment section. I honestly feel bad for the kid with all these reports coming out. And I always think it's funny. Looking back on that quote that Kevin O'Connell had, the most famous quote from him is that organizations fail quarterbacks more than quarterbacks fail organizations. And right now, obviously, JJ hasn't helped out this organization too much, but it really feels like the organization is almost failing him in a certain aspect here so far. But you guys let me know. Should JJ McCarthy be QB1 next season? Now, we'll talk about trading for CJ Stroud here in a second, but we got some St. Patrick's Day merch that you guys might be interested in. If you guys just head to chatsports.com/VikingsGreen, you guys can get these Minnesota Drinking Team t-shirts for St. Patrick's Day. Great look to them, $29.99. So hit that link in the comment section and description of today's show. Check them out. I love the design on all of these. We have black. We got the Kelly green look. So if you guys are going out for St. Patrick's Day, want to be rocking some Vikings merch and also supporting the program here at Chat Sports, hit that link, chatsports.com/VikingsGreen. All right, let's talk about it. CJ Stroud. Should the Vikings potentially trade for Stroud this offseason? Maybe saying, Patrick, why the hell are we talking about this? There's been no real reporting about the Texans possibly moving off CJ Stroud, but after his disaster in the postseason, maybe the Texans could be looking to go in a different direction. It's actually Todd McShay who suggested he could be on the trade block, saying, I'm told, don't be surprised the next couple of weeks as we get closer and closer to free agency, there's going to be some big-name quarterbacks that are currently in destinations that have contracts that are going to be targeted. Teams are going to be aggressive. CJ Stroud is one of them. Does he need a change of scenery? Be prepared for that. Now, from a Texans perspective here, I don't think there's any chance they trade CJ Stroud because there's really no reason for them to. Like, what would be the upgrade that they would bring in where they would be immediately better than CJ Stroud? It's very limited. Like, are they going to go out there and bring in Kyler Murray? Are they going to go out there and bring in Malik Willis, Kirk Cousins, Mac Jones? Maybe if they just think Stroud is a completely cooked product at this point, and we've already seen the peak of his NFL playing ability, maybe that's the case, but I don't think so. Now, the biggest reason why he would be traded is because of his postseason performance this past year. He was just flat out horrible. I think the biggest reason why the Patriots were in the Super Bowl was because of CJ Stroud, because that Texans defense was the best in the league, in my opinion, even better than Seattle. And I think CJ just let him out. I mean, 4 picks in the first half of that New England game, 2 touchdowns, 5 picks total, had 5 fumbles, 2 fumbles lost. I mean, he was just an absolute disaster. Now, from the Viking side of things, really no interest in CJ Stroud here. Like, maybe it is a change of scenery that could get him back to what he was, but I just don't think that makes too much sense for the Vikings right now, considering also the draft capital you'd have to give up. Like, this Vikings roster, they are so strapped for cash right now. They spent $350 million on their team this past season. So are you going to give up a second-round pick for a guy like CJ Stroud, taking a risk on him? I just don't think that's going to be the case because they need to hit on a lot of these draft picks. And the Texans, if you also do trade for Stroud, they're going to want 2026 draft capital. They're not going to want 27. They're not going to want 28. They're going to want immediate pieces that will help them win now because they're in a win-now window still. With guys like Will Anderson, Derek Stingley, these young players that they're building around, they want to capitalize on this short window that they have. So, Viking side, no real interest considering the draft capital that you would have to give up. Now, Stroud was a free agent. Sure, I would have a lot of interest, but not too much in terms of trading for him. But you guys let me know. Would you trade for CJ Stroud? Give me a T for trade. Give me a P for pass. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. An interesting thought. I wouldn't be furious if the Vikings did this move, but I just don't think it's too likely at the end of the day. Now, if you guys could hit that subscribe button on your way out, help us reach our next milestone of 70,000 subs, and we'll get you guys some more videos tomorrow. And see you guys next time. As always, let's go Vikes.